Ah, those lovely evangelical fundamentalists. They see Satan in literally everything. Well, everything that is, except for what conforms to their narrow, superstitious views. And any dawning of any such things as sense that would cause people to diverge from what they blindly believe would obviously have to be a trap set by the enemy. That being a special term that they have for Satan when they don't even want to say Satan. So, what is Satan's latest trap? Well, obviously, it has to be atheism. And atheism, Satan's latest trap, is in fact the name of a Facebook page that has been recently brought to my attention and which is the subject of my 4th ever internet meme review, coming up in just a moment. Hello, Internet. This is Sophia. Welcome to my 4th ever Internet meme review, and I hope that you will like, subscribe, and share. More details at the end of this episode. Today, the memes that we will be looking at all come from the same Facebook page, one titled Atheism, Satan's Latest Trap. And that page seems to be the original source of the memes that it circulates, or at least most of them. Some of the memes that this page distributes, such as this really bland and unoriginal schoolyard-level pseudo-comeback to a John Lennon classic, seem to be done using online cookie-cutter type meme generation sites. In this case, imgflip.com. But it nonetheless does seem like the people behind this page are in fact the ones using those online cookie-cutter type meme generation sites. So anyway, the title of this page is Atheism, Satan's Latest Trap, and it kind of implies an assertion by the people behind this page. That assertion being, well, that a supernatural being known as Satan does in fact exist, and that his latest trap is atheism. So, to someone with a brain, the question that would raise would be, do they actually offer any arguments to back up this assertion? Well, to be honest, I doubt it. But I figured, since it's about time to do another internet meme review, I may as well check it out. Does that mean that I'm going to look at every single one of their insipid memes? No. At the time of me making this episode, there are already well over 350 of them. And frankly, there are only so many hours of my life that I would want to spend wading through such stupidity, but I will spend some time looking at some of their gems to see if these guys are even half as smart as they think they are. And let's start with this little gem, released July 29th of this year, that being the year 2020. Its text reads in big, large letters, I don't have enough faith to believe in an uncaused universe that created itself for no reason. And then in much smaller letters on the bottom reads, do you believe in the atheist myth of the Big Bang? Clearly, what this meme is trying to suggest is that it is us atheists who are making a huge leap of faith by believing that the universe could exist without a supernatural being having created it. And wow, this meme is so rife with fallacy that it calls for a special installment of Fallacy Exposed. Anyway, the first fallacy that I feel must be called out in this meme is probably not the one that would be the most obvious to any seasoned member of the skeptical atheist community, but it is one that most of us, once it is pointed out, would agree that it is there. This fallacy is the straw man fallacy. The straw man fallacy, for anyone in the audience who might not know what it is what happens when instead of arguing against the position and/or argument that the other side is actually pushing, you instead argue with a more easily refuted caricature of that argument. And in this case, the straw man caricature that they are arguing against is the notion that atheists believe that the universe just one day up and created itself for no reason. And I mean, come on! Is this kindergarten? We do not believe that the universe created itself. I have been in the atheist community for a few years now, and not once have I heard anyone claim that the universe created itself. We are saying that there is no need for a creator, not even the universe itself. But really, what this meme seems to be getting at is an argument often put forth by theists called the first cause argument, which suggests that anything that exists has to have a cause, and that therefore the first cause that started that whole chain of causality would just have to be God. Obviously, this is a classical example of another fallacy called special pleading, something which Bertrand Russell recognized quite a while ago, and which no doubt several other people realized quite independently of him. Special pleading is when you simply exempt one thing from a rule that you claim to be universal, often as in this case, without even making note of the fact that you are doing so. If you assert that God exists because nothing can exist without a creator being there to bring it into existence, then for that argument to have any weight at all, you have to accept it as a universal principle that everything that exists has to have a creator. And once you accept that premise, you don't get to make an exception. And that means you don't get to make an exception where God is concerned. Therefore, this argument is self-defeating, because it only brings us to the question of, okay, who then created God? Was the Big Bang the first thing that ever was? Maybe someday I will be able to interview a cosmologist on this show to get the full scoop on what the current scientific theory is on that matter. But from what I gather, having read up on it, the answer is we don't know. From what I understand, the Big Bang is a singularity, a point in time that scientists are able to know what happened closer and closer and closer still to that very moment. But from what I understand, scientists are not able to crack what happened in that moment, let alone know whether it really was the beginning of the entire chain of natural causality, or merely one causal step in an infinite causal chain of events that extends infinitely into the past. Because that is one of the strengths that science has over religion. Science is able to admit it when the answer is simply, we don't know. I think that this is much better than lying about your level of certainty, which is what you are doing when you claim to be certain about something that you have no conclusive evidence for. But anyway, from what I gather, nobody really claims to know that the Big Bang was definitively the very first start of the causal chain of everything, which would make this entire thing yet another example of the straw man fallacy. But really, the straw man fallacy is something that you will see a lot of on this page, such as this meme from May 22. It is a clip of something that was previously published on paper and then very crudely digitized with a camera. I am guessing that this is from a Jack Chick track, but I can't be sure because the administrators of the site aren't exactly telling me where they got the piece of paper that they were just lazily putting a camera to get this meme. Anyway, it is captioned with the words, "Satan also uses education," and it shows a science teacher supposedly teaching his class that a gorilla is daddy. And this is obviously a straw man yet again. Nobody who takes evolution seriously will say that your father or even your grandfather was anything other than human. I, for one, know who my father is, and it ain't this guy, the gorilla. No, my father is this guy, a well-respected physicist, and he is most definitely human. Nobody who takes evolution seriously even thinks, for that matter, that any ancestor of mine was a gorilla. Yes, I had ancestors who were non-human apes and whose faces were covered with fur. And for that matter, so did the administrators of this really stupid Facebook page, even though they won't acknowledge it. But that wasn't one or even two generations ago. It was many thousands of generations ago. And no, they were not gorillas. But I think that it's clear that accurately representing the position of those whom they are arguing against clearly is not something that the administrators of this page do, so I guess I'd better get used to that. I could go on and go even deeper into the really stupid memes that you will find on that page, but frankly, I think that you've seen more than enough of the stupidity of that page. I know that I have. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please hit the thumbs up button and leave your comment in the comments area below. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and that the bell icon is active so as to increase the chance that you receive notifications when I add new videos to this channel in the future. And until next time, see ya!